I'm getting my haircut at the Burris Barber Shop in Grants, and this is Chewy. And Chewy was worth the trip across town by himself. It's sprinkling on me now, but it looks like there's rain over in those valleys or canyons I walked in on the other day. It doesn't look too bad, but that's where I'm going to be going tomorrow. So it's the 28th. Left the hotel right at 11. Weather looked fairly clear. A few miles through town at noon, it started raining on me. So, gonna give it a minute, see if it blows over, or put the rain cover on and get my puffy out. And First Street is my street that I take out of town, and it looks like there's a big detour that I'm gonna have to go around. Alright, it's 1 o'clock. I'm getting out of Grants. About 4 miles left before I can get off the road onto the trail. Clouds are looking a little dark. I'm heading this way, and even if I wanted to skip the last 4 miles before trail, I don't think I'd be able to. I'm getting ready to go by a prison, so I don't think I'll have any luck hitchhiking, so I'm just going to keep going. There's the prison. There's the rain that keeps, I don't know, it's been raining off and on for the last hour. That's the way ahead. I think it's just around 2 miles, maybe a little bit less until I get off the road. And then I get to start going up. Hopefully I'll get some sunshine, dry out this puffy coat. So now it's 3 o'clock. I'm off the road. Looks like most of my uphill, I don't know, a little under 2,000 foot, is going to be in the first 2 miles. So, I'm happy to be off the road. This first 2 miles might not go very fast, but then it'll be better. And it looks like there's quite a bit of flat area. So, hopefully when the sun goes down, I'll find a good spot to camp. I was supposed to have a great view of Grants from here, but as you can see, the weather didn't really cooperate with that. This is, pretty sure it's just sleet rather than snow coming down pretty fast. But I'm done with the steepest part of the trail for today. My thermometer says it's right around freezing. I've been working up a sweat going uphill, but we'll see what it's like as time goes on. I might be persuaded to make camp early tonight. See how the clouds really aren't up anymore, they're just over? Come on, focus. There you go. Anyway, I'm at 8,000 foot, and it's 5:15. I'm getting kind of cold and wet, so if I see a good camp spot, I think I'm going to set up and dry off and get warm. So it's about 6 o'clock. Might have another hour of daylight, but like I said before, I'm cold. And I think I found a pretty good spot. The cold wind's coming from this direction, so I'm hoping that these trees will give me a little bit of a break from that. And I figured this would be a good time to show how I set up my tent. So, I think really good practice for this would be take a cooler full of ice and water and soak your hands in there until your fingers don't really move, and then set up your tent, and that'll give you a good idea how this works. I already put one stake in. So I slept in a little bit this morning. I thought I knew how to set the alarm on my watch. Apparently I was wrong. It's going to be a good day. Despite the precipitation yesterday, I'm really glad that I went ahead and got out of town and just made camp. I did over 10 miles, but not very many of those were trail miles. It's frosty this morning, but the sun is very warm to where I had to take off the puffy once it came up over the horizon. And no clouds. So I'm going to finish breaking camp. I think it's like 7 miles to the next water source, but I brought 5 liters with me. So I drank a bunch of that last night. Looking forward to having a lighter pack. It's going to be a good day. There's Mount Taylor. There's an alternate that goes up over it, but I think I'm going to save that for whenever I'm super hiker. There'll be plenty of mountains in Colorado. It's also a little bit shorter alternate. So, trail is looking good today. Feeling good. Think I'm making pretty good time. It's about 10:30. Doing quite a bit of up. Trail's over behind me a little ways. I just wanted to come over and get this view. So it's about 11:30 and stopped for lunch and almost forgot to get my sleeping bag out. My tent was a little icy this morning, both inside and out, which meant my sleeping bag got a little bit wet. I could get my tent out and try to hang it up to dry, but I don't think I plan on hanging out that long. This black sleeping bag, I'm hoping soaks up some sun, dries out pretty quick so I can get back going. Got quite a bit more uphill, about 4 miles before I get to some good reliable water. Still have over a liter in my bag, so I'm in good shape. So the last couple of hours, the trail's pretty much been pine trees, lava rock, sometimes up, sometimes down. This is a little bit different, so I don't know how long this will go. Looks like somebody's been through here to clear the trail with all the blowdowns, so that's nice. And I'm going to get about a half mile of downhill, so I'm going to try to enjoy that. All right, this is my water source. There's springs and that on the map, but I don't know how many of those are flowing. So the next place that I know has water is 12 miles ahead. So as delicious as this looks, it looks like I'm going to get a couple liters here. So the notes on this phone don't always load well. So I got out the other phone and I checked, and somebody a week ago said that there was a creek flowing about 4 miles up the trail, about 1,000 foot up, 1,000 foot down. I just checked. I think I've got at least most of a liter, at least half a liter in my bag. So I'm going to pass on this. So I get another half mile of downhill, but it's hard to enjoy the downhill when you know that for every step down you go, you're going to have to take another step up later. The sky's getting a little bit cloudy. Doesn't look like rain or anything. It's just cooling it off a little bit. I told you this morning this was going to be a good day. It's been a good day. Seems like I've been doing a lot of videos today. But I know on here it might look pretty warm around where I'm at. But I've been seeing snow pretty regular. So I expect it's still going to get pretty cool tonight. Whenever I get water here, less than a mile, start looking and planning on where I want to make camp. Like to do 20 miles, but most of all, I'd like to get down below 9,000 feet. So I'm glad that I did not get water at that pond. I just grabbed 3 liters and drank 1 from the Ojo Piedra spring. Met a couple of turkey hunters. They're camped not far from here. Offered to let me come by and share their campsite. Super nice. Making sure I had food, water, everything I needed. Problem is, it's 20 after 5, and I think I'm a few miles short of 20. So, I'll look and see how I feel whenever I get there. Whenever I stop to get water, I pull on my puffy. It's like 50, 55 degrees. But whenever I stop moving, I cool off quick. I don't know if you can see that there's still snow not far up in the woods. So I'm pretty sure I missed the hunters. I never saw their campsite, but at one point I did smell cooking hot dogs. So it's probably for the best to miss the temptation instead of have to decide whether I wanted to stop early or keep going. I can still get below 9,000 feet in a few miles. It's about 5:30. And I've got a little bit of downhill. Although some of the downhill is so steep that I'm not going much faster than I did uphill. I'm not really planning on leaving Texas anytime soon. But New Mexico doesn't look that bad. And I think I'm going to put my cabin right over there. I've only got another hour and a couple more miles to go. But first, I think I've got about 90-foot climb out of Spud Patch Canyon. I'd like to know the story behind that name. Alright, it's 7:30. About a half hour left of daylight. This area has been burned sometime last couple of years, it looks like. So I'm at 8,400 foot. I've done 20 miles. And I'm going to go pick out a flat spot somewhere in there that doesn't have any dead limbs above me. Because I think Morning Albert needs to do the climb out of this little canyon here tomorrow. So that's it for today. All right, it's 7:30, about to get going. I was up plenty early, just seemed to take a long time to break camp and get ready. 75 miles to Cuba. If I can do 3 25s, that will make it 3 days. If I do 20s, it'll be 4. I've got enough food for 5 days. There's a spring in 20 miles and a cow trough in 8. So I've got a little over 2 liters on me. Gonna see how today goes. So I came down out of the trees. I don't think I'm gonna get above 9,000 foot today. And I just realized, met this road, and according to the map, I think I'm gonna be walking on gravel roads for 18 miles. So I could whine about it, which sounds really good, or I can just see how fast can I get these 18 miles out of the way, try to get a big mile day. There's the water source that was 8 miles from my campsite, and it's 9 o'clock, so I like having my pack nice and light. Still got 2 liters in it. So I'm just going to try to crush the miles to the end of the road walk, and the next spring looks like I'll get some trees to walk through. Quarter after 10. It's 2 o'clock. Took a half-hour break at 1 underneath a shade tree. About 5 miles left of the road walk. There's a spring. I still have a little bit of water in the pack. Whew. I'm ready for this road to be done. All right, it's 4 o'clock. I'm done with the road walk. Feet were getting pretty sore. The trail's now going to go this way. But I just finished the last of my water a quarter mile back, and there is a spring 3/10 of a mile off trail. I'm going to go down to that, get some water, come back, see how the rest of the day goes. So this is the way down to the spring, and it's going to be a climb getting back up, carrying a lot of water, but it's a nice view. There's the water from the Ojo de los Indios. I'm at the bottom. I got to go back up to the top to get back on trail. So I'm going to try to drink a liter and take 2 or 3 or 3 or 4 with me. All right, so it's 7:15, getting ready to get started. I made camp early yesterday, like 6:30. My legs were just done, or mostly my feet, after that road walk. So this is where I made camp. A little over 10 miles to the next water source. I think it's like 15 to the next reliable one after that, so I'll be packing some water. Did like 22 miles yesterday. Ready to see how many I can do today. I came from there. And I'm going that way. It's 10:15. A couple miles to the next water source. And over the next 5 miles, I'm going to go down about 2,000 foot. I'll see if I can get a better shot of that view, but I need both hands right now. All right, get a load of that. All right, that's it. 2 hands. Less than 2 miles to the spring where I'll get some water. It's been a heck of a descent to come down. I'm really glad I don't have to climb up that. It's getting pretty warm down here. I'm going to take a break, eat lunch, drink plenty of water. This is the Ojo Frio or Ojo de Frio. Anyway, it's the spring. I just ate like 500 and some calories and 44 grams of protein. I'm going to check the notes, see how much farther to the next water source so I know how much water that I have to carry with me. It's noon. I've had a little break. May 1st, 10 miles down. Let's see how many more I can do. All right, so I just left that spring. Got a little over 2 liters on me. Next reliable water source is 15 miles. I've done 10. 25 is a pretty big day for me. But the elevation doesn't look terrible. Like over that 15 miles, says I'm going to do about 2,000 up and 1,800 down. So spread over 15 miles, that doesn't seem that bad. So, gotta just keep going and try to make 15 miles before dark. Sometimes you get to do a little bit of climbing up here. But then I should have a little bit of downhill to the next water source. Alright, now I'm going to go up that. My prediction earlier about, oh, that much elevation gain and loss spread over 15 miles wouldn't be so bad. They kind of tend to give you all your up and down at once. I can see water down there. Somebody reported that the well that I was planning on getting water at wasn't working. I'm hoping that they were just mistaken. 6 o'clock, got a couple more hours to go. About 1.25 miles from that next water source, some triangles maintain a water cache. You're not supposed to rely on water caches, but if that well up ahead doesn't work, this could actually be a lifesaver. Pretty close to where I want to make camp. Turned a corner and almost missed this sunset. I came from over there. I've done some climbing, and I'm pretty sure I've got some more to come. Just came up from down there. Come up on the sunset. And I don't think I have very much downhill, but I have a little bit, so I'm going to enjoy it. There's the first rattlesnake of the trip for me. He was making pretty loud noise as I walked by. I didn't see him. I just got on by, then stopped and turned around. He looks like he was coiled up, so I'm glad I didn't get any closer. Alright, so that makes 2 rattlesnakes for the trail. Same morning. He's just laying still. So I'm going to see how wide of a berth I can give it and get around it. This is the Jones Canyon Spring. This is the water source I was getting to, 14 miles so far today. There's a pipe that runs to a trough over there. The water actually looks better. I'm going to take 3 liters with me. I drank 1.5 liters, ate a little bit of lunch, and then look at on the map, it looks like about 4 miles I hit dirt road. About 6 miles after that, I hit the highway, and 4 to 6 miles into town where there's a hotel and a McDonald's. There's a water source close to the highway, but it doesn't sound very promising from the notes that I've looked at. So I think I'm going to get me some water. It's about 2:45. If I leave here at 3, that gives me 5.5 hours of daylight. I think I can make it to town tonight. And if I make it before 10 o'clock, I can have a large Diet Coke with a McDonald's value meal, whatever, combo with large fries. And if I'm not there by 10, there's a 24-hour gas station I'm sure I can get a fountain Diet Coke at. So that's my plan. I could see this old building from the spring right over there. So whereas I want to make miles and make it to town, I just felt like I needed to come up here and check it out. Maybe it was a couple of buildings. Alright, back to trail. So that's where I came from. And I said that I thought I had about 4 miles to the road. I know there's a real steep climb right before I get to it. So I guess that's over there. Just climbed up through those boulders. And that wasn't even the big climb before the road. So I'm going a little bit slow here. But I also have to stop every now and then and just take a look around. Alright, here's that 1/4 mile of real climbing that I was talking about. But I'll make it. Halfway up the climb. Relatively smooth spot. It's about 5:30. Big climb is done. This would make an awesome campsite. But here's the dirt road. Pretty sure I stay on a dirt road all the way to the highway, which is 6.5 miles away. So I'm not gonna camp. I drank the extra liter of water I had that I would need to camp. I am going to make it to town. It's 6:30. I haven't stopped to look how far I've gone, but I'm making pretty good time. Wasn't on the dirt road much longer after my last clip, but the trail's been mostly downhill, soft sand or rock. I just thought that's the highway. It's about 4 miles away according to my map. Mostly down, but there'll be some up. Good way to end a day. 7:30 and I've got 2 miles to go. The highway I'm meeting up with, I don't think is the big one that I showed you from up higher. So it's still asphalt, still no shoulder. Hope there's somebody willing to give me a ride whenever I get there. And here's the highway. I've seen a lot of cars go down it whenever I was still 1/4 mile away. Come on, focus. But I really don't want to walk down it. It's 8:15, 15 minutes sooner than I get planned. So guess who didn't get a ride last night? Traffic really dropped off
And then the people that did come through didn't feel like stopping to pick up a strange man they didn't know after dark. So I went ahead and got some sleep, slept better than I expected, and now ready to get up, and my feet are rested, I can walk into town now.
Here's my room at the Cuban Lodge in Cuba, New Mexico. Got a room with 2 beds because my personal trail angels are going to be meeting me in town pretty soon. This room was $70. It's an older property, but it's fairly clean. And the couple that run it are super nice. Let me check in at 9 in the morning. Good place.